You're listening to the Loudini Rock and Roll Circus, changing rock history one podcast at a time.
Everybody, welcome back to the Loudini Rock and Roll Circus. It is Loudini and Pittsburgh Kevin are in the house. What's up, everybody?
Yeah.
We're here to have a good time. We are live on Rock Rage Live on Facebook.
Yeah.
So if you haven't gotten hip to that yet, then you need to get hip to it. And you should be following. It's a cool little page.
Sure.
Shows you all kind of live events.
Yes.
Associated with Rock Rage Radio, things that they're promoting, and some of the jocks get on and do a live broadcast each week.
Cool.
Monday nights at 9 p.m. and we are back to our regular scheduled time.
Hooray!
No interruptions in the foreseeable future. We're good to rock. All right, guys, we're gonna have a good time tonight. Don't forget to visit rockrageradio.com and don't forget to check out musicfromthe412.com. Both great places to check out cool music content, interviews, and retrospectives and live performances and everything. They're both really cool places. Music from the 412, of course, is Pittsburgh music oriented.
Centric.
So speaking of Pittsburgh music, my band Spectrum played.
Yes, how'd that go, man?
It went really great. It was an afternoon show. It was the 100th birthday of Blawnox, Pennsylvania.
Down here in Blawnox.
Yep, down at Blawnox.
Happy birthday, Blawnox.
And it was very cool. We played. We didn't get to finish our full set. I see the singer. She's very, very young. She's 20.
Okay.
Angelina's 20.
Uh-huh.
And I don't know. I hope she wouldn't mind me picking on her a little wee bit. And she doesn't, understand sometimes how things kind of roll. They don't have the experience that me and Bill do. We're guys in our 50s, and we've been playing gigs for a few decades now, and Angie is just not quite hip to how sometimes things work. And when you're doing these festival type things, and there's other bands are waiting to go on, you can't go over time.
Yeah,
you can't
you got to get to it.
They do boom, boom, boom. And the guy who was waiting to go on was none other than Pittsburgh rock legend Norm Nardini.
Don't make Norm wait.
So one of the things that Angelina asked me to do before we started gigs, she says, "Could you not just go into the songs?
Mm-hmm.
I need time between the songs."
No.
And but she took too much time. She would kind of. She's very. She's very friendly and personable, and she's very relaxed on stage, super relaxed on stage.
Yeah.
For somebody who's 20 years old, you'd think she must have
a little bit
born,
yeah,
what I mean, to perform. She's really, really good.
Yeah.
But because of that and her little bit lack of experience, she isn't paying attention to this really needs to step up.
Let's go.
So she took a little too much time, told stories and stuff like that, after every song. I'm like, you can't do that. So we'll have a meeting about that at rehearsal this week, and say we got to one of the things I love to do, my favorite thing to do is come out and hit them with 3 songs in a row, boom, 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 floor them.
Yep.
And then take a hey, we are Spectrum. This is whatever. You'll be here till 5 o'clock. Thanks for hanging out. Yeah. Don't forget to dunk the mayor over there. They had Dunk the Mayor.
Did they really?
Yeah.
That's a festival.
It was super fun. For you guitar players, I'm gonna tell you a little bit about my setup. I have been playing. I have these cool boutique heads and cabinets all over this place. I've been playing this with this band for some reason. I know why. Because I wanted a combo amp, and it's the only combo amp that I could really use that would make sense for this. And I wanted something fairly low wattage because we're in the era of turn down. You're too loud. You're too loud. You're too loud. You're too loud. So this amp seems to work perfect for this gig. So I've been carrying this thing around. It's very cool. It's been modified by Tom Legge a little bit. It's we're still playing around with what speaker we want in it, but that didn't matter because he wired it so it could have an extension cabinet. It is a Fender Champ 12. It is a Red Knob series. It was originally designed by Paul Rivera, and these amps are super cool, and you can pick them up very inexpensively, and people are afraid to buy them because they came with some problems. The speaker isn't good. You should change the speaker, but like, who can't change a speaker? It's a tube amp. It's an all, it's very cool. It's totally worth getting, and all the internal stuff was easily changed. I mean, like, I forget what it was, $30 in parts. I mean, it was under $100. I had it all resolved. One of the issues is the input jack goes bad. Well, and it's something about how, like, where the wires are, they're too close to the tubes or something. There's something, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. But, like, when that amp first came out, it had these things, so they kind of discontinued them and got rid of them. But since the internet came out, people started, and they started like 20 years ago, publishing all the mods for this and everything. And it's easily modifiable. So there's tons of different mods where you can really add more gain and, like, and it has reverb. It's got a spring reverb in it, so it's like super cool. And I bought that at a guitar show in the '90s for $300 cash.
Wow.
Yeah, in a parking lot.
Hey, come over here.
That's how it was. I was getting that. I met the guy. I said, meet me outside. He broke outside. I said, here's $300. Boom, 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 and I had it.
There you go.
Fucking.
Wow.
I lucked out. And that amp is plenty loud. We're
talking
about Nick's Fat City.
Yeah.
I played that amp in Nick's Fat City. And they were telling, it was a big, big club. They were like, guitar's too loud. Like, it's fucking 12 watts. And this is before, like, Tommy had, like, sweetened it all up and everything. So anyway, I took that and I took an extension cabinet that I had this great set of cabinets. They're PV cabinets. They're tweed. They're really awesome. One is a 410 and one is a 115. And no, they are not bass cabinets. They're actual guitar cabinets. They're designed for guitar. And when you put the two cabinets together, it is like one of the greatest sounds ever. But I played many, many years with just the 410 cabinet. I just took that and it was so. And so I thought, well, fuck it, I'll just take it, and we're playing outside too, so you want a little more ass. You don't want it to be just a one speaker if you can avoid it. So and the sound guy was super cool. He was, he knew how to mix guitar. Yeah. And and it worked out great. It was a great my pedal board. It was a great was a really, really cool sound. I was very glad I did that and didn't just take the combo amp.
Yeah.
It really, for all extra it took to carry that there, it wasn't a big deal. So but yeah, that was super cool. And of course I used my super favorite Telecaster. So anyways, that was my gig. It was a cool thing. Like I said, after we were done, finished up, Norm Nardini came up and played with his band, and apparently, there was no issues with us and Norm because he apparently wrote a song for Angelina to sing, and she got up and sang it.
Oh, little buddy there. That's awesome.
Yeah, so she sounded fantastic. Great. We were all very proud of her.
Nice.
So it was very cool. We had a blast. The band is getting better. And for those of you that don't know, Spectrum is part of this group in Pittsburgh called Bands Together, which is helping young folks with special needs, get to play music. And so me and Bill are working with them and, helping these folks get out and express themselves musically, and they're pretty good. They're really good musicians. They're
awesome.
It's really good. So, anyways, that, and I want to, before we move on to what Mr. Pittsburgh wants to talk about, there's something that I want to clear something up. There's some confusion right now.
Okay.
Let me ask you a question, Mr. Pittsburgh.
Okay.
Well, Mr. Pittsburgh, everybody. Mr. Pittsburgh.
Hey, everybody. Good to see you.
Give yourselves a round of applause. I hate that. Don't you fucking hate that when somebody gets up and give yourselves a round of applause?
Well, don't mind if I do.
You know what? That is one of the douchiest things. Another thing that needs to stop immediately. Yeah. Anytime you go to any kind of meeting,
sure,
you have to, like, something meeting for work or whatever,
right.
and somebody gets up to talk and they say good morning. Everybody goes good morning. Goes, come on. Let's really hear it. I mean, I'm really, like, so done with that. I mean, like, that needs to end. It wasn't even funny in the first fucking place. It was never cool. Whoever you are that thought up that, you should be ashamed of yourself.
Yeah.
You should have a special room in hell. Because that's torture.
Yeah.
That's so fucking awesome.
You go in this room.
But so do you remember the internet before social media.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes, I do.
And do you remember when social media kind of kicked in, started kind of getting?
Yeah.
With what was the first app you remember for social media? I remember MySpace.
Oh my gosh, app? Oh yeah.
MySpace.
Yeah.
Okay. And then the one that came up after that was Facebook, I believe. And then I think Twitter and all the Instagram and all that jazz kind of like, and everybody tried their hands at social media. Google had a social media site. There was one point where there was like 30 social media sites and everybody's like, you have to be on every single one.
Yeah.
But in any case, so I remember something happening, and I believe it was with Facebook. This is really early. But it was just picking up. People were starting, hey, I got a Facebook.
You have Facebook?
What's that called? Facebook. Yeah, I'll add you on that. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
And it was just kind of getting going. And there was a story in the news of a school teacher who had taken photos of herself, or had somebody take photos of herself in like provocative clothing, provocative photos and stuff like that, and she put it on Facebook.
Okay.
And the news story, there was a news story because the school fired her.
Yeah.
And I remember at that time thinking like, oh, come on, it's Facebook. But apparently even at that time, there were enough people watching Facebook. And now, just to be clear, this woman's rights weren't being violated. This had nothing to do with the government. No rights were being violated. She wasn't being canceled or silenced.
Right.
Her First Amendment rights weren't being, abused or anything like that.
Yep.
She embarrassed her employer.
Yes.
And it made it difficult for her to be able to properly do her job because, the kids maybe have seen that, or you know what I mean? Like at least the other teachers have, and now it becomes like a whole thing in the school. So the employer says like, we got to let you go because that's just not gonna fly.
Right.
And that was the first case of that I remember hearing and going like, well, I'm like, and then the more I thought about it as time went by, I saw how social media was really taking off. I'm like, you could say and do some stuff, and if people don't like it, like if it pisses your boss off, you could lose your job. You could be like, say you're a pastor of a church, you could be asked to stop doing that. If you run the little league team, or you're a member of the Rotary Club, or whatever, like anything like that, you do something on social media that just hits the social mores in the wrong way, you're subject to that.
So you say you don't like the Irish, right?
So I just want to say this is being recorded on September 22nd of 2025. These podcasts go up, up forever. So some of you that might run across this later on, if you could go back and Google this week, you will find out that like everybody's First Amendment rights are being violated. That's what they're saying. That's the big story. Your rights aren't being violated. Okay, this has been going on even back. Like, do you remember when Mel Gibson like had a little wild hair up his ass? He got drunk and started making all kinds of stuff about Jews, or whatever.
Yeah.
And so we didn't think of him being canceled. It was like Mel needs to like go get his life together.
Right.
You know what I mean? And then eventually he came back and started doing other stuff. So this has always been a thing. You just can't. If you do something and your employer or whatever looks at that and goes like, we're going to get phone calls, or you're going to get, you could get let go.
Right.
I mean, it's just how it is. It doesn't matter, and especially if you're an employee that is losing your company $50 million every year.
It's not going to fly.
It's not going to fly.
It's not going to fly.
Okay. So, and just for the record, I saw the head of one of the directors for the FCC interviewed, and he's like, we absolutely did not call ABC and tell them they had to fire Jimmy Kimmel. That's like, he says, of course President Trump had to run his mouth and make it sound like he had something. But he planned
this.
We absolutely did not do anything like that. This was a case of like, you know what I mean? He lost his job because he embarrassed his employer, essentially.
Exactly.
Now, and he was, but let's talk about this real quick because I want to get your opinion on this because the landscape has really changed, Mr. Pittsburgh. Do you remember how important to the entire country David Letterman and Johnny Carson were.
Huge.
I mean, it was
Huge.
everything. Did you see Letterman last night? You know,
Yeah,
did you see Carson last night? Oh man, Carson's monologue sucked, but we all laughed anyways. You know, it's like,
right.
You know what I mean? It was like, you know, and those shows were just, and it was a great way. Both the network, the networks, one of their sort of ideas behind that was, let's get people in their day on like fun, funny.
Yes.
You know what I mean? No heavy, you know what I mean? Nothing or other. And, you know, I ran across a snippet of an interview, Mike Wallace interviewing Johnny Carson way back. And he wanted to know, well, why don't you discuss social issues?
And what did Johnny say? Because I saw the interview.
Yeah, he was like, absolutely not. He says, what did he say? He said, did Red Skelton and Steve Allen or whoever ever do anything like that? He was like, absolutely not. Like, you're here to be funny, to make people laugh. Like, you know, and then he said something to the effect that, like, he says, yeah, you could have an influence. He says, but then you start to think you know something. You know, and none of us know anything.
No.
Like, we don't really know anything that's really going on. So, he was a wise man in that regard.
Yeah, very much so.
But but my point is, like, think of like how like late night TV, it's just like totally lost all of its gumption. You know what I mean? Like that is not a thing anymore. I mean, when was the last time you really ever like, you know, oh man, you know, whoever's coming on?
I'm gonna check it out. Yeah,
you know what I mean? Like really? I mean, you watch it?
I watch clips of it, but
I'm saying you don't. That's not what I'm asking.
Oh, I don't watch it on.
Yeah, you
live.
don't get in front of the TV, put it on ABC or NBC or.
Yeah,
that's what I'm saying.
Okay,
that's what I'm saying. That watching clips of it does not do the network any good. They need people, the viewers, to tune in, and man, it is just really dry. Some of it is the fact, I think, that the content, we've gotten off course here.
Yeah,
you know, now you're sending people to bed agitated. You know, and we all wonder why everybody's in a bad mood in the morning.
I know.
So, but right. So, and I think streaming, dude, like streaming fucking killed it.
Yeah.
Like people are just, there's no like thing to galvanize everybody around. You know what I mean? Like that. Like everybody's, there's a gazillion million different shows and things to stream. And now even beyond like the Primes and the Netflix. There's all the TikTok and the Facebook Reels and YouTube and everything like that. It's so spread out that I just think the time for that, at least for now, has passed. I just think it's it has kind of passed its prime. You know. So, any thoughts on that? Or
here, like you said, they kind of lost their course where. Like Johnny Carson said, I'm here to entertain people. I'm here to make them feel better. And I think the late night hosts going political is low-hanging fruit. You're going to always find something in government. You know, go back and talk about social commentary. Talk about funny things that happen today in the world. You know,
stupid human tricks. What brilliant. I wouldn't give for some stupid human tricks.
Brilliant. Yeah. So, yeah, I'm not a big fan of... I mean, I'll catch clips every now and again, and... but it's just I'm not vested in it like the olden days. I don't care if you were 5 years old, you found a way to stay up to watch Johnny Carson, and then later on in life, in my early teens, David Letterman.
Yeah, Letterman was for like the hipper crowd.
Yeah.
You know, he had a lot of rock bands play, and there's a lot of famous Letterman performances by rock bands and stuff like that.
Exactly. I get a lot of I'll admit it, I get a lot of my mannerisms on TikTok from Dave because I love Dave so much. Sometimes I'll do the faces, sometimes I'll do the voice, but yeah.
My favorite was, what was it, racist Dave Letterman on Howard Stern? Evil Dave Letterman.
Evil Dave Letterman, yes. And I really thought it was Dave doing a bit.
Says the same thing. The first time they heard it, they thought it was actually
how did they get
Dave
him
Letterman
to do it? Because I know he's friends with Stern, but how did
these racist things, like, you know what I mean? And there was no AI yet, you know.
Right.
I thought, you know, but no, it was
so good.
But so, okay, I just kind of, you know, like, I just was curious if it's like maybe just me. I don't watch any of it, so I think nobody's watching it. But
I think much the way as the Horseshoe, I think late night shows like that, their time is gone.
Yeah.
You know,
at least for now, unless something changes. You know,
you never know.
You never know. But so what's going on with you,
Lou? I'm going to get serious with yins now. Okay, I'm going to talk to our audience, and I want to thank our audience for listening, because there's going to be a big portion of our audience that won't be here next week, Lou.
Oh no,
Lou, I don't know if you got the memo. I'm on the TikTok, so I am now apparently the algorithm thinks I want to be on the Rapture Talk. Lou, I don't know if you know this, but tomorrow the good Christians of the world are going to leave us. And Lou and I, you know, we went to a Christian high school and so we know what the rapture is. The rapture is when, of course, the Lord comes and takes all his faithful and literally takes them up into the sky. It's called the rapture. Apparently, Lou, it is happening tomorrow.
Nice.
September 23rd. It's everywhere. People are selling cars. They're giving furniture away. They're emptying their bank
Where are
accounts.
these people? I could use some shit.
I know, right? But anyway, so I just want to take a moment and thank the people who are going to be raptured tomorrow. And thank you for listening to us. We enjoyed having you. Good luck. Good luck with that. And the rest of you heathens, we'll see you here again next Monday. So there you go. But yeah. Thanks to all of our audience that won't be here next week, and we'll talk about it next week. I'm sure it's going to be devastating, but we'll talk about it next week.
So,
because I'll still be here. Back to you.
One of the songs we learned that we performed at the show was the Ides of March song. Vehicle, sorry.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
You know.
There it is.
So I wanted to really talk about the guitar part in it, because it's got this great. First of all, it has a great solo. It's funny. I was like looking it up, and I do a kind of like version of like just. I play some of the same notes. Because like, well, what you have to understand was when you're in a band.
Yeah.
And you got to learn a whole bunch of songs at one time. Like, it's like, what's the most important part of the thing to have? You know what I mean? You know, like Magic Man, I had to learn all those parts exactly right, because you just can't you can't improvise in it. You really have to play with it.
Yeah.
But this is a solo just over some cool chord changes, and I played something that had the same vibe to it. But that's not what I want to talk about.
Oh, okay.
It does have a cool solo, and there's a lot of videos of the guitar player who originally played it, like being interviewed and talking about it. It's really well loved. But it has a great driving accompaniment guitar part, comping part. That's it, and it does have these awesome chords. It is in a horn key. It's in the key of E flat.
Oh,
E flat minor, which is it's in a key of E flat minor, which is actually G flat major. So there's a lot of horn stuff going on, so you would understand why it would make it easier for the horn players to play
along with that. Yeah.
There's no open strings really required for the guitar part or anything, so you can just play those great bar chords, and it works great because you can get that. So it has this in there. And check this chord change out. So just with this, and the horns are doing their thing, and then it does this. Check this out. That's right.
Yeah.
Back up, then to this B natural. And this is the greatest chord in the song. This is B flat, dominant 7, suspended 7. And they split the riff between this chord and then just an actual B flat, dominant 7. Check it out. So the whole thing is like, on the B, it's like, I fucked it up. So it's a check it, check. And then on here, they split those two sections up over two chords. The chord changes when you play the second part. I don't know if you can pick up on. Starts out on this one. And that is that suspended 7 to just the regular 7. And it's just this is a great harmony. It's a great accompaniment part. And it just really drives the song. It's funny, like, somebody shot a video of it, and if for some reason, I don't know if I need to adjust something on my guitar, but I dropped out of the rhythm guitar part for just a couple beats, you know? Yeah. And I was like, damn, it really...
You could feel it.
Takes it out of there. So it's a really brilliant part. And if you notice, I'm not calling it the rhythm guitar part. I'm going to learn you something. So to lean in real close.
Taste me, Loudini.
Lean in real close to your radio right now.
That was me leaning into the microphone.
You don't tell me I play rhythm guitar. Don't tell me I play lead guitar. I just play lead. I just play rhythm. You play guitar.
Right.
There's no such thing as lead guitar and rhythm guitar. You play guitar. Sometimes you are playing an accompaniment part to accompany the vocals, the rest of the band, or sometimes you're playing a riff. Mm-hmm. Sometimes, yes, you playing a guitar solo, guitar breakdown or whatever. You might sometimes you're playing a nice pretty picking intro to something or whatever. But you're just playing guitar. Let's just get rid of this rhythm guitar, lead guitar thing. That's just stop. Yeah. That's just silly. Okay, so no, let's we haven't done a riff of the week. We didn't get to do a riff of the week last week, so I wanted to kind of and so what we did is after there's that great God in heaven, I love you, and so there we played. Paul played that together.
Oh, okay.
Okay. A little tag on there together. Sounded pretty cool with like a crunchy guitar. By the way, I used fuzz on the solo.
Of course.
It was just an experiment. I'm like, okay, let's just do it. Nice. And I did it.
Nice.
So what else? What do you got going on?
So listen, Lou, I'm on the TikTok here,
Talking on that TikTok.
Pittsburgh Kevin. Just look for Pittsburgh Kevin. You'll find me. But anyway, so I was on the TikTok there. I'm scrolling through, and there was a live feed. And anytime my little brain sees this, I stop.
My little brain.
I saw a guitar. I saw a bass. So I stopped, and it's a young lady. And I'm going to be nice. She's a big girl.
Mama Cass.
Yeah, basically. Black girl. And I'm like, what? Because I'm looking at the bass. I'm like, huh.
She plays bass?
She plays bass. That's why I'm like, let me check this out. So I click on the live there, and I see, and she's like just almost defending herself. And I'm like, what the fuck? So I go and check the comments, and of course people being really mean, like, how long have you been a girl? Nasty.
Did you ever see when Tom Segura reads evil comments on people's videos?
I love that. Him and his wife. But anyway, I'm like, whoa, come on, right? So I noticed it was a 5-string bass. So I typed in 5-string bass. I have enough trouble with 4 strings, right? And a little smiley face. And she's like, oh, thank you, Kevin. That was really, yeah. And she goes, the reason I play 5-string bass is because this one bass player I know, or I like, Alejandra from The Warning. And I'm like, what? This chick knows The Warning? So now it's on. So she starts playing, and I start complimenting her. And then all of a sudden, the whole tone of the comments changed because she's playing, and she's okay. She's
relaxed and kind of having a good time.
She's having a good. She's having a good. No. It's nobody's support.
You are.
Oh, I see. I thought she ain't got no sugar daddy.
No, you're being. Kevin got out his credit card right there and sent her $500.
There you go, right?
No, what I mean was you were being supportive, you were interacting in a positive way with her.
But I didn't support no woman ever again. But anyway. So, and I was just so happy to see the comments shift. I'm following her now. And like I said, she's getting there. She's getting there.
Look at you helping out the young musicians of the
young
world.
kid. But listen, Lou, about the TikTok there. I go on the other day, and there's, I'm trying to think what she might look like. Oh, it doesn't matter. But she's an older woman. Older, I mean like my age, and she's got a guitar. I'm like, here we go. I love to check out new guitarists, and she is a new guitarist, and she is literally playing When the Saints Go Marching In, one note at a time. And I'm like, aw, that's so cute. Like her husband's in the other room. You can see him in the background. She got a little kid, but she wants to learn to play guitar. Exactly. So, of course, I supported her. I'm like, oh, yeah, you got to start. But she only played one note. And so I said, do you know any chords? And she goes, no, chords are too hard for me. And I'm like, oh, my God. So
she's not going to play rhythm guitar at all. She can just play lead guitar. You'll come back in 6 months and she plays Eruption.
Yeah, exactly, right? And I'm like, damn. But it was really cool. I was so inspired by her that I actually made a TikTok about when I first started playing guitar, playing one note at a time. Then I accidentally hit 2 strings and it sounded good. And then I
broke it. I wasn't supposed to.
I smashed
I didn't know you were allowed to do that.
But but it was really cool. It was really cool. So
that's pretty cute.
Yeah, be kind. Hey, Yins guys, be kind to your fellow musicians. You don't know what they're going through.
Bass player
TikTok
friend.
Oh yeah, I did friend her. Yeah, is it friending on TikTok? No, it's following.
Friending, following, but
following. I'm following you.
So let me ask you this question.
Yes, sir.
Did Van Halen kill rock?
No. It brought it to the masses.
I think that happened a long time ago before Van Halen. But so Studio Number 6 did this video. Did Van Halen kill rock?
Okay, interesting.
So it is clickbait.
Oh boy.
But a bit.
Yeah.
But at least he does actually cover the subject. So it's not clickbait in the sense that it's a salacious.
Okay. Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
that's
yeah.
what I mean,
Exactly.
clickbait.
Yeah.
It's not literally that's not what the video's about. It's not a cooking video or something.
No. No, it's not.
So, naked man swings from penis, and then it's like a video about how to plant petunias or something. But anyways, so the idea, so what he presents is this idea that rock was going along, it was all good.
Yeah.
And then Van Halen comes out, and then 3 days later, all these other bands with this same type of guitar playing, and this goes on for the next 7-8 years.
Sure.
And that it was too much, and it really was grunge that really saved music.
Oh, I see.
So that was what he meant by did Van Halen kill rock. Now you should watch the video for yourself. I'm doing a paraphrasing.
Yeah, right.
But so that's just the idea, though, and a lot of people, say, it was these guys, and then it was and then he compared it to Motley Crue and Bon Jovi.
Sure.
How all these bands, Quiet Riot, and all this stuff.
Yes.
And that it was too much and la 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 la. So I got what he was saying, but his assessment that grunge somehow saved everything is bullshit. Mm-hmm. I think grunge completely misunderstood rock. We want our rock stars to be real rock stars.
Yeah. When you say rock star, what do you think of? Boom, everything that we're going to talk about.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, you know what I mean? You see big everything, good-looking folks in tight clothes or wild, flashy clothes, putting on flashy shows. And,
right. Living the lifestyle.
Yeah, living a wacky lifestyle, absolutely,
yeah, exactly.
And definitely don't think of it in people in dirty jeans and flannel t-shirts. Flannel shirts, I mean,
Hi, Bill.
Lumberjacks. Hey, Bill. I don't necessarily,
I'm a lumberjack, and I'm so sad.
And I just sort of felt like grunge was kind of a fraud. The older I get, it doesn't mean I don't like a lot of the music, and a lot of the music that came out later that was influenced by grunge, like the post-grunge music. It's not that means I don't like that music, but I think there was a what ended up happening. All that flash and bravado went from rock, and then rock quickly began to fade away, and it went to that bravado, all that bling, went to hip hop and rap.
Okay.
And my conspiratorial mind says, could we just not see young white men be successful, make a lot of money, and get a lot of girls?
No.
Was it so offensive that we had to kill that?
Yeah.
And I remember reading Kiss and Make Up by Gene Simmons, and he doesn't get conspiratorial about it, but he does sort of say kind of what I'm saying in the sense that like rock was more rock before grunge.
Yeah.
Grunge was a kind of, it was the beginning of the fading out of rock. It really was. It was not, it was funny. Do you remember in the early 2000s when the video game Guitar Hero came out?
Sure.
And it revived a lot of classic rock and 80s rock. Okay? It did not revive a lot of grunge.
No.
Everybody
was playing Van Halen or
Boston Journey, all those, big flashy bands. So I just my comment on there was like I said, I thought that grunge was a fraud. Those guys weren't, the band Pearl Jam, their name is literally about jism.
What? No, it's about his Aunt Pearl, and they loved her elderberry jam.
Yeah. And you stink of elderberry.
Oh, bye.
I fought in your general direction, grunge.
You knickets.
So, that's just my thoughts on it. No, Van Halen didn't kill rock. It was grunge killed rock. People couldn't stand it. People couldn't stand it.
They didn't like it either.
We got to be depressed, and there was that backlash. People were getting rich and getting laid, and just couldn't stand it.
Yeah,
we had to have the counterculture had to come in and like ruin everybody's fun. I mean, dude, I'm sorry, dude. Like, it just, rock is supposed to be big, loud, bold, and it's nothing against grunge as a musical style. Yeah. I think that we could have had the two coexisting. Absolutely, I don't think we had to, kick something to the curb to do what we did, because I think what would happen is the best bands would have really risen, and the bands that were like pretty cool, but maybe for whatever reason they would have been like the college rock bands. They would have been on the indie radio stations. You know what I mean? Yeah. And they would have had their followings and stuff like that. Some of these bands absolutely did not deserve to be the biggest bands that they were. Okay, so enough about that. What do you got?
So, Lou. Hey, Lou.
Yes. Hey, Lou, you know me, right?
Hey, I don't know if you know
Lou,
hey,
right?
Lou.
What?
So I'm going to be 60 this year, and getting to this age.
Sexy at 60.
Christine, 60, yeah.
Christine, 60. Christine, 60. There you are.
Nice. Anyway, so but every now and again,
single ladies.
Hey baby. So every now and again, it just hits me that I'm getting older, and this one hit me this week. There's a fella by the name of Richard Sanders. Okay,
Richard Sanders.
He's an actor. He's a fine actor. You know him better as Les Nessman. Remember Les? Yeah. Yes, right. So,
the humanity.
I swear to God, I thought turkeys could fly. See? All these years later. Anyway, it was his birthday. He got me all choked up.
I didn't see that when it aired, but it became on syndication after when I got home from school. It would be on, and I came home one day and like I was just chilling out after school, whatever. Didn't want to do any homework or whatever, and I was sitting there watching TV, and that came on, and I started watching it, and I'm going, oh my God!
This is awesome.
It was hilarious, dude.
Awesome. WKRP in Cincinnati. Les Nessman, the quite nerdy
newscaster.
That's just it. Yeah. So God bless him. Richard Sanders celebrated his birthday. He's 87 years old. The dude's nearly 90. And I'm like, oh, that's right. I'm almost 60.
I thought that he would be dead, but
okay. Right.
He must have been one of those people that they made up to look older than he probably
That's what I was
really
going to say. Yeah.
It was like Ethel on I Love Lucy. She didn't look like that.
And most of the Golden Girls, especially the oldest, the mother, she actually still looked.
Estelle
Getty.
Yeah, she had,
still looked really good for her age back in the day. I'm like, nice. Oh my gosh! Hey, folks, you watching at home? This is all natural. No makeup here.
So, would you buy the new Paul Reed Smith Chleo Herman Li Signature? It's only $7,000.
Oh no, no. I've told this story before. I turned down paying $4,000 for a oh shoot, man. Why'd you give me vodka? Now I've forgotten things. Who's the guitarist for Lynyrd Skynyrd? Gary Rosington. Thank you. A little slow tonight, folks. I turned down paying $4,000 for Gary Rosington. Just for various reasons, but a year later, I checked on eBay. That $4,000 guitar was going for $10,000. Missed opportunity. But
that's what Eric McKenna was. I think he's back doing that again.
Oh, is he?
Street, yeah.
Oh,
like
I gotta
he
check
was
that
doing
out.
that.
Nice.
But go ahead. Sorry.
But no, I would not pay $7,000 for a Paul Reed Smith Chleo Herman Li Signature guitar.
Yeah, Herman Li Signature. So this Dr. Andre Fludd Music did a review of this guitar. It's a very extensive review. It's about a half an hour long, and he gets into all this guitar. Says so. Check this out. It has a Floyd Rose, and locking tuning machines.
Does it have the locking nut?
It has a locking nut.
That's crazy talk.
And, well, the thing of it, one of the misconceptions about locking tuning machines is that they have something to do with the tuning stability. They just make string changing like a lot easier. That's really what they do. It's really the nut and the bridge with the tuning. But anyways, so it has all three of those things: the locking nut, the locking tuners, and the Floyd Rose. And it has some kind of special designed stabilization thing for the Floyd Rose. It's got Fishman Fluence pickups. It has a Paizo to get that acoustic sound.
Wow!
It has got this crazy carved top on it that it's all done in such a way to weight relief it and make it thinner, but give it like a deeper carve. It's like it's the Paul Reed Smith, major attention to detail.
Right,
every little teeny tiny thing. And so Dr. Fludd reviews it, and he gives it pretty high marks. And then so my comments were, I have a couple comments about this. First of all, Paul Reed Smith swore that he would never put a Floyd Rose on one of his guitars.
Yes.
And that was my comment, and that I think that the Paul Reed Smith tremolo is perfect. I don't think you need a Floyd Rose.
Yeah.
I think that the Paul Reed Smith, other than offering a hardtail, I don't really think that guitar can be improved upon. I think that it is the ultimate guitar. Mm-hmm. So that was my comment, and he's like, well, I think there's room for both. And I'm like, I didn't say there wasn't room for both. I'm just saying that it was perfect. And
the way it was,
you can't really do anything. The guitar does have a kind of, the Fishman Fluence and I believe the Paizo are battery powered.
Oh, okay.
Pickups. And the guitar does have a weird kind of issue. And the way it plugs, the way the cable plugs into it, the way the cable is designed to plug in, it's sits kind of down. It goes in through the side, and there's a special hump in the carve top for it, and it's it's super well done. You know what I mean? It looks like it's sculpted like a piece of art.
Yep.
It's not
nice.
some weird thing doesn't make any sense.
Right.
However, and it locks the cable in real nice for you. Everything you really couldn't pull it out.
Wow.
And accidentally. You
right.
have the means
How
to take
many?
it out.
Yeah, we've all done that.
But what Dr. Fludd pointed out was He says, I've had this guitar for a month now. Not once have I been able to just pick the cable up and plug it in. Every single time I have to take the guitar, hold the bottom of it up to my face, and look at where the hole is, and line the cable up perfectly to get it in. And he says that's a huge problem because it makes the guitar you not want to pick the guitar up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Fuck, I don't want to go through all that.
And you can't leave it plugged in because it's battery powered. So it kills the battery.
Oh, Lord.
So, he says he feels like there's something that somehow Paul Reed Smith he felt that was really the only real flaw about the guitar. And he talked about something else. And I thought that he had a very good, and I should go back and compliment him on this part of the video. He talked about people were asking him, is it worth $7,000?
Mm-hmm.
And he was talking about there's nothing practical about art. We don't do art because it's practical.
Right.
We do it because we have to do it. We're we have to do it. And there's nothing practical about it. It's not necessary. It's one of those things, So, and it's because it's not unnecessary. Anything associated with it is going to be expensive, relatively speaking, to what it actually does. In other words, doing something artistic doesn't necessarily feed you. I mean, I guess if you got to play gigs or you teach lessons or whatever, it does, but you know what I mean, in and of itself.
Yeah.
So, he says, but the guitar is a work of art, and it is.
Mm-hmm,
I will give it that. It's just not for me.
Right.
But I also didn't like where it's got a big horn, like the top part of it's got like extended horn, more like a Strat, and the strap button just looks precarious to me. I don't. I'm sure it wouldn't break, but it just kind of looked like. In any case, so what do you think about that? I mean, when you look at some of these really fancy schmancy, like Pale Parties, they have the wood library and all that. I mean, set aside, can you or can you not afford it? I think we can't have that part of the conversation because that's you know what I mean? I
can't afford it right,
you know what I mean?
Right now.
That doesn't mean it's not worth it.
Right.
To some people. What are your sort of thoughts on that?
Wow. So, back in the day, I collected guitars, and I would pay $3,500. I think is the most I ever paid for a guitar. It was a 58 reissue with a killer top. So I can appreciate you buying a guitar, but I never played it, is what I'm getting at. But I can appreciate you buying a guitar as a piece of art. And really, who's going to take that out on tour? You know what I mean? If you buy that. So I can appreciate.
Slash.
Yeah, that's true. I mean, if you slash.
I mean, guys of that ilk might.
Yeah. That's fine. So if you're going to buy it as an investment, a piece of art, God bless you. That's not for me. I'm not buying a guitar so I can just stash it. I've done that in the past, and it's not good. And so, would I buy it? No, because I just noodle around in my music room, man. I'm not going on a tour. Even if I had the money, probably not.
So what's the guitar for, then? It's not good enough to noodle around in your music room, and you can't take it out on tour.
Exactly. It's not.
I think you can noodle around on it in your music room.
You think?
And I think a lot of guys who own those guitars will play them at home. Now, Herman Li, that's just his main guitar.
Right.
And I did not, and I'm pretty sure I saw Phil McKnight say that there's a video of her, and I think he showed it, of Herman Li playing the guitar and the neck breaking on it. $7,000, I'd be a little upset.
Yeah. Wow.
Anyways, so it's just kind of an interesting discussion. What's worth it? For me, I got what he was saying, and I wouldn't say that it's not worth it. I would just say that I don't know if I would ever spend. Maybe I would if I was really in a position where I needed tax write-offs or something. You know I mean? Maybe I would just be in a position to but it wouldn't be that guitar. No. That's not for me at all.
No.
There's nothing about, what I mean? So it's not worth it to me personally. It's not a type of guitar that really, I felt would inspire me or anything like that. It just, it was cool, but it just did not ring my bell.
Yeah.
But, I mean, if you like that kind of thing...
God bless you.
God bless you. It's not too expensive. I mean, if you make, If you have millions of dollars, maybe you want 3 of them. I don't know.
Sure. One in every color.
So, what else you got?
That's it. Let's get you.
So there's a great story on Tim Pierce's channel that came out this past week about his work on the song Iris by the Goo Goo Dolls.
Oh, okay.
He got hired to play mandolin.
Oh.
So so you would think, what? You show up at the studio.
Yes.
With a mandolin. Or maybe a couple of different mandolins.
Sure, because you're a professional. Sure.
Mandolin die. And what he did was he called cartage. You know what cartage is? They don't have cartage anymore, but in the day, cartage, you kept all of your studio gear in a facility.
Okay.
And these cartage companies would go and get it for you, and they would take it to they were all set up to do it. They had the exact type of dollies and everything that nothing would get damaged or whatever. They had to ramp the things off the van and into the studio and everything for you. Yeah. And I think some of them even set it up for you.
Wow.
And so he called cartage for this mandolin gig. And so when he rolled in there, they were like, "What? You're supposed to play mandolin. Why are you bringing had Marshalls and Voxes and racks full of stuff?"
Yeah.
And so his thinking was he says I know that if I show up and I'm ready, I think that I can get them to let me play some electric guitar on it.
Okay.
I think I want because he was like,
I want to be ready.
Yeah, I want to kind of be ready. And he tells the story about he'd never heard the song and had no idea what he was going to do.
Right.
It's a great thing. He did something really cool, and I recommend everybody do this. If you go I'd like to play mandolin, but I don't know how to play mandolin, this is the cheat. And he did it on this song.
Yeah.
You tune the mandolin like a guitar.
Okay.
And then you can play mandolin perfectly. Perfectly. I did it. I had a professor loan me a mandolin, and I took it home and brought it back the next day, and I could play it perfectly. And he's like, "How are you doing that?"
It's a guitar.
I tuned it like a guitar. He's like, "You tune that back before you go back to me." But so I was laughing because I'm like, "Aha!" So I was onto something way back then.
Yes.
But he did play the mandolin on it. But he plays the guitar, that slide guitar solo in the middle. That's him doing that.
Oh,
and
cool.
they loved it. He was like, he told the producer, they went on lunch or something, and he grabbed the producer, like, let me do something. He says, I think I could do something really good. I have some ideas. And he says it was really I think one take.
Really?
Yeah.
Oh wow.
But he said that. He says after the guys came back and they heard what he played, they were all in love with everything he did. They loved the mandolin part. The mandolin part is really important to the song, and then a guitar solo is great. It's a slide guitar solo, and so they were all buddies after that. And then they were kidding around, saying, "Yeah, dude, we were looking at you like, what? Who the fuck is this guy
bringing
all this shit into the studio when he's supposed to play fucking mandolin?"
Yeah,
it's a great story. So analog versus digital.
Oh, okay.
This is our sort of featured story.
Yes.
This week. So this is from Freaking Out with Billy Hume. Billy's got an awesome YouTube channel. He is close personal friends with Rick Beato.
Okay.
They worked together. They produced albums together back in the day. And he is has produced many top 10 Billboard hits. Over the course of his career, going way back to the late 80s through the 90s and 2000s, etc. And he discusses in this video the real reason why analog is better. And he gives you a little bit of the history of how he started out doing analog. Now, I'm not going to it's absolutely fascinating. He talks about the different tape machines they use. And I vaguely remember when I was getting into music at that time, reading about hearing some of these names of these different tape machines. But that wasn't my niche,
right? Right.
But he was, he had all this stuff, and he still has a lot of the stuff. He has kept it. It's very interesting. He shows
cool.
a lot of it in the video, and he talks about one of the things. He says while we were all using analog, we were all it's noisy. You have to rewind it. You've got to change the reels. The reels are really expensive. Yeah. There's all this wasted time when you only could do destructive editing, meaning that you had to if you wanted to edit something together, you had to they had an editing block and use a razor blade.
And you'd
mark the tape with a magic marker, and if you fucked it up, you were fucked.
Yeah.
It was
it's all gone.
So yeah, and it was a real pain. It was a real pain in the ass. There was punching in and punching out was like a real big deal.
Uh-huh.
You know what I mean? You didn't want to do too much of that. Over time, you would start to lose high frequency range on the tapes, especially if you did a lot of overdubbing, or you rewound and fast forward a whole bunch of times. And there's a very famous record that, because they had saved, they rescued it with a backup, and I think it's Rumors.
It is Rumors, yeah. I was just gonna say.
And Rumor by Fleetwood Mac is a classic album, and when they went to kind of we're wrapping things up at the end, they were like, oh my god, there's no high frequency response on this,
right? But
they had made backup, and so the backups hadn't had all that abuse,
right?
And they sounded good.
Still good, yeah,
right. So the whole time they're doing this, they were like, so he said that when he was finally able to make an album, as he says, in the box, all in the computer, he dove head into that, full force into that, and produced a lot of hit songs that way. And then he started to discuss something about digital that you don't think about.
Mm-hmm.
And because he started to talk about some of the things about analog that you started. So one of the things with digital, first of all, was everybody thought that your music's going to last forever. It's going to be on disc. It's going to be permanent.
Sure.
Well, these discs break.
Yes.
And the format you might have it on may no longer be supported.
Exactly, right?
Tape machines are exactly the same as they've been for 100 years.
Uh-huh. Uh-huh.
You could really go get any reel-to-reel machine and put your reel-to-reel tape on it and play it.
Exactly.
Cables. Do you remember the different cable thing? The cables that have changed? I mean, when I started in the computer world, we had SCSI cables.
Uh-huh.
And then we had this, you had that. We had FireWire. I had FireWire for a really long time. USB 1, USB 2, USB 3. All different kinds of MIDI cables, and all this stuff keeps changing. And every time you get a new computer, and and do you ever do this? Set a computer aside, go back to get something off of it, and all of a sudden, just for some reason, it just doesn't work anymore.
No, yeah.
And so stuff gets lost in all, in this fog, in this haze of so-called data.
Yeah.
Whereas, you have your stuff on reels, you just label the reel, and you know exactly what, you just pull it off the shelf.
Mm-hmm.
So this idea that somehow your music would be everlasting or whatever has not worked out. It didn't really work out. The other thing that he said that he discovered was he was trying, as he was doing his he wanted to get back to doing something more immediate and more in the moment. So he started recording sessions as live while streaming live.
Okay.
So that. And then as he started doing that, he started to realize, whoa, these come out so much better because it's like an actual performance.
Uh-huh.
And then he started thinking about, in the old days with analog, you had to come into the studio knowing your crap.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? There was no just take it again. We can, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
There was no
racing.
Yeah. I mean, it was you really had to, and so he said what they were actually doing in 70s, 80s, and 90s, and a little bit of the 2000s was they were actually capturing performances. We're not doing that anymore. We're making it in the computer. And so, yes, of course, the hiss is gone, and there's no degradation when you have to fast forward or rewind, and there's no the tapes don't get sticky, and all that.
You don't have to slice.
Yeah, you know tape. However, we don't treat it with the same respect. I mean, it used to be very expensive to go into the studio.
Right.
You know, and then you would prepare for the studio as if you were going to like a serious business meeting.
Exactly.
Something.
Yeah.
You know, it was, you know, and this is one of the reasons why I hate to say it. I think there is an element of that missing, and it kind of makes it kind of takes away from the specialness of the music. And then there's pressure to just, you know, because it is fast, everything feels speeded up. Like there's like pressure to go even faster.
Yep.
You know, you got to put out more music, crank out more music. It's in the computer. You can just make it. And you end up with a bunch of crap that nobody likes. So that was his, in short, like, why he feels analog is better. And it doesn't have anything to do with the sound.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? The sound on digital, the stuff that you can do, and if there are certain things you wanted to emulate from analog, you can even do in digital now. But it's, the workflow is weird, and it does not require people to like be good.
Sadly.
You know, I mean, we talked about guitar players faking things. You know, and this stuff helps you allows you to fake stuff, and just kind of like adding on to this, I saw an interview with Joe Satriani and Steve Vai.
Ooh.
And it was Rick Beato interviewing them together. It's a very cool thing.
All right.
But they talk a lot about being in the studio, the different producers they work with and stuff like that. And Steve I talks about how he wanted to do this thing where he like looped all these guitars backwards together and all this stuff. And that he like spent all night. Like the producer didn't want him to do it, but what he did was he went in and did it off hours.
Okay.
And one night he went in there to do it. When he was done, he put the tape on the shelf, and he says Bob Dylan was sitting there. And he wanted to go into the studio. He had an idea, and like Bob was like, you know, whenever he has an idea, he wants to rush. It's like 3 o'clock and 4 o'clock in the morning.
Sure.
Bob Dylan's in there, so he leaves. He goes home, and when he gets back to the studio, they find out that they used his tape to record a Bob Dylan song.
Oh no!
And Joe Satriani had a similar story where that he was wanting to do some wild studio trick. Put all these guitars together, you know, with all these, spliced all these pieces of tape together. And before he went home, he hung it on the coat rack with this big sign that said, "Do not touch under any circumstances."
Right.
Well, when he came in the next day, there was a box on the floor in front of the studio with all this just like tape hanging out. And he says, "Oh my God!" He says, "What's going on?" He goes, "They're like, sorry, dude, that's your project." The cleaning lady came in that night. She didn't speak English or read English.
Oh no!
She took all these pieces of tape that were hanging up.
Yeah,
she threw them in the car. Yeah, they literally.
Away, Mrs.
Yeah, like the assistant engineer had to go dive into the dumpster and get it out.
Oh my God, dude!
So wow. I thought, that's a crazy story. Speaking of crazy guitar stories, so I ran across this on one of the reels or TikTok or something. But there's Prince's guitar player, one of his rhythm accompanying guitar player, tells a story about they're doing Purple Rain.
Okay.
You know, and he's like, Prince is like into the big part, and he does in the Purple Rain right before you do the guitar. And they hear a sound.
Uh-oh. And
Prince goes to hit his guitar, and nothing comes out. And so he immediately looks at this other guy and tells him to take the solo. Yeah. So he says, he says, I played the solo. He says, after we got done that night, he says, Prince came up to me and says, "Hey, how'd you like playing that solo?" He's, "Oh man, I love it." He says, "Good." He says, "Because you're never ever going to play it again." And he smiled and walked away. You know. I said, I did. He said, "I made sure I really played the crap out of that thing."
Yeah.
He said, "I knew I was never going to get another chance."
Oh my gosh, that's great. He's never going to play it again.
I saw another. This is great. Glass Audio has this video. What makes a good lead guitar tone? Oh. And I think he's talking about it for playing solos. And to make a long story short, he has a great quote, and I'm misquoting it, of course, but he says something to the effect that like, can you get it? Can you get like great guitar tones from modelers and things like that? He says, absolutely. He says, but they won't be epic. And he's like, all the great guitar sounds have been amplifiers turned up really loud. Like it's just like, and it's that's, I'm giving you the sort of Reader's Digest. You should go watch the video. He makes a very good argument for why it's something you should consider. So what does so we were talking about I don't know what we were talking about. We were talking about stuff that we grew up with that was on TV.
Sure,
like,
yeah.
You remember every year the 10 Commandments was on?
Oh, yes, indeed. Charlton Heston. Yes.
Exactly. So, what does the movie The 10 Commandments have in common with Metallica and Herb Alpert?
I don't know.
So this is great. This is a channel called Weird Hollywood Facts.
All right.
And so two things. Well, first of all, there's a scene, and it might be more than one scene, where there are these Egyptian guys pounding these drums.
Okay.
And there's a young man pounding these drums, and it is Herb Alpert as a teenager.
Really?
Yeah. It was before he was anyway. He's not even credited in the film. He's just like he's just like a little bit more than an extra.
Yeah. Yeah.
And yeah, he's in the film. He's playing that, like, beating on a drum.
Okay.
And then so when they did the scene, so there's a scene where the angel of death, and it's depicted as this like green fog. You remember?
Yes, I remember.
Okay, so something interesting about that, they embedded, and you can barely see it, a skull in that. And they said they wanted to give people like a subliminal suggestion of death,
Yes, yes.
And a lot of people, I remember finding that super creepy as a kid.
I remember that, yeah.
And so in the early 1980s, the band Metallica decided for some reason that they were kind of done jamming for the night, and somebody rented a movie, and they rented the 10 Commandments.
Okay.
And when that scene came on, Cliff Burton said, "Oh my God, dude, that's like creeping death." And James Hetfield and Kirk Hammett looked at each other and said, "That's a song."
That's a song.
And they wrote the song "Creeping Death" based on that.
On the 10 Commandments. That's wonderful.
Yes. That's how like ubiquitous that movie was, in our culture. Everybody knew it. Even guys like, because that movie came out in the 50s. Yes, Cecil B. DeMille.
Yeah.
Cecil B. DeMille had a heart attack while they were making it. And the doctor said, "If you want to live, you have to stop right now." And he like took a day off, and the next day he was back on set, and he made the whole movie.
Get back to work. Wow.
Well, yeah, I just thought that's
kind of cool.
Yeah, Metallica influenced by the 10 Commandments. So
yes.
Speaking of films, did you?
Yes.
Did you? I watched this one with this is Brittany Murphy's last film.
Oh.
Brittany Murphy passed away in 2009, I believe, on December 20th. This movie was released on December 1st.
Oh man!
And it's called Deadline, and Thora Birch is also in. She was in American Beauty.
I love Thora Birch. Oh, she was in a movie called Ghost Town with Scarlett Johansson, which I really like. Steve Buscemi's in it also. She just plays this. I think it's after a graphic novel, but it's such a fun. It's one I watch at least once a year. Anyway, hey Loudini, back to you.
Well, anyways, Deadline is not a good movie. It's unfortunate that Brittany went out on that. Real. It's just like. I mean, first of all, it's an hour and 25 minutes. It feels like it's 2 hours and 25 minutes.
Oh, geez.
And I don't know why it's rated R. It's kind of like almost like a light. If Lifetime Channel made like a spooky movie,
right?
That's
what it would be.
This is what it would be.
Rated X.
Yeah, it's really.
Wow.
Yeah. I mean, it's just so, and it's just yawn.
That's a shame.
So we both saw that. Did you watch anything other than this movie?
Yeah. I have been wanting.
Then we'll talk about this together. But go ahead.
Yeah, exactly. I've been wanting to see this for a while. I saw 28 Years Later. So I wanted to see it because I really liked 28 Days Later.
And did you see 28 Weeks Later?
I liked it.
Okay.
Notice how I go, I really liked it, and then I said, I liked it. Okay, so I'm like, all right, let's see.
Hey, Mikey, he likes
He
it.
does like it. So let's see what 28 years would be like. So I got a chance to see it, put it on, and boy, I don't hate it. Loudini, I don't hate
that's
it.
something.
Yeah, I liked it. It's more story based than the other two. I mean, there's the real story behind it. And I think that was the focus of the film, not so much the zombies or the blowing zombies up or the zombies getting you. That's really, there's not a whole lot of that in this film. I mean, there's some. Hey, Lou, let me ask you something. Are you thinking about seeing this movie?
No. I wasn't. I liked the original. I wasn't all that impressed with the sequel. I'm like, okay, I'm out. And then when I saw they were making, like, I just very skeptical about something that, like, they make the sequel, 15 years after,
exactly. Yeah.
But anyways, but go ahead, continue.
I was going to say, because if you're going to see the movie, I hope you like dicks.
Nice.
So at the beginning, like Netflix, it'll tell you a little warning, rated R for violence and language. And this one clearly said extreme nudity. I'm like, oh.
Extreme nudity.
And mild sexual encounter. I'm like, well, that's interesting. So I watched it. I will tell you this about the movie. In the movie, there is a dominant zombie, and he's referred to as the alpha male. He earned that. He earned that title.
He's got a big honker down there.
Yeah, and it's all prosthetics.
Big
I'm
dong.
sure it's prosthetics, but nonetheless, I'm like, I got tired of seeing that dong schlonging around.
I was texting my contractor this week.
Yeah,
guy does work for us around the garage on something. He says, I said, can you do it? So he said, well, first I have to go home and let my dong out.
Hey, that's personal.
So this guy, you're saying, let his dong out. Let it all hang out.
Let it all hang out. So, you know what? If you like the 28 series, go ahead and watch it. It's fine. No big deal. The other thing I saw, because we're going to talk about the last one together. The other one I saw was the
Shirley Temple story. Go ahead.
Close. It's the Charlie Sheen interview on Netflix. I'm like, well, that should be interesting. Wow. Lou said this before the podcast. He's like, I don't know how this guy's still alive.
Well, that's what my sister told me. She read it.
She
saw it.
Yeah.
And she said that, like, after she watched, she's like, it's a miracle he's still alive.
Yeah, I totally agree. But now you and I said, well, what do you expect when you give a kid like all that fame right away? I'm granted he's talented. I really like. I've always liked Charlie Sheen. But yeah, it was wow. I understand a lot about Charlie Sheen now.
Excesses.
Yes. And
they didn't call it the big 80s for nothing.
Hells no. But it's so cool. Like the scene that he did in Ferris Bueller.
Oh yeah.
And he's like, he asked his dad, Martin Sheen. He goes, they were in a limo going somewhere, and he was reading the part. He was, practicing the part with his dad. And Charlie's like, well, how do I handle this? And Charlie's like, what are you talking about? Or I'm sorry, Martin's like, what do you mean? He goes, well, how do I approach this role? There's only a few lines for the movie. And Martin's like, you just did it. That's it. And so, he just kind of played it cool like that. And it's such a memorable character. Boy, do I go into this, or do I just let you people watch the interview? I'm going to let you watch the interview, but toward the ends, there's been...
don't tell me too much, because I haven't seen it yet.
Yeah, there's been allegations, and this is everywhere, that Charlie did some naughty things back in the day. With Corey Haim. Remember Corey Haim, the Coreys?
Oh, Corey Haim.
Yeah. Corey suggested that perhaps Charlie Sheen was inappropriate with him and stuff like that. So he talks about that in the interview. So yeah, if you get I've always liked, even during his tiger blood phase, I still like Charlie, and I was hoping he was gonna learn from that.
Did he mention anything about Young Guns 3?
He did not.
Okay, because I've heard that's
I've
happening.
heard things too. Yeah. Oh, Young Guns. I love Young Guns.
Yeah, so did I, dude.
Oh, I do.
Freaking awesome.
I need to get 2 on DVD. I have 1.
I need to take a number 2.
Lou, why'd you do that? People are listening.
Sugar.
All right, so do you want to start on the... Yeah, you start on the...
Well, I'll just mention, Mr. Pittsburgh here came over and recommended this documentary called Unknown Number.
Oh.
And about 30 minutes into it, I was pretty sure I was being punked.
Right?
I'm like, let's not give anything away.
Right,
People
right.
Probably, it's relatively new, but it's on Netflix, right?
Why did you think you were being punked? Because
I was like, there was like...
Is this a goofy, funny...
because how do I say this? Because they should have been able to figure that... They should have been able to put that together. Like, this is a story where...
You can tell the story, not the whole story.
Well, these kids are getting these like very like nasty text messages,
right, mean,
and it's from an unknown number,
right?
Okay, and like this, like it when they finally figure out, it's figured out so quickly, and it's like, why didn't you do it in the fucking beginning? They go 20 months
exactly. The incompetence of the school, the police, the parents.
Even like
trying to figure out.
I've seen so many crime movies where what do they do? Get the phone records.
I thought the same thing.
I'm like, why is nobody getting the phone records?
Right?
And I wasn't stupid because once they get the phone records, it all gets figured out.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm sorry if that's a spoiler.
The sad thing was, and thank goodness I didn't say anything to Lou about the ending, but I went in, and I'm not going to say the ending, I'm not going to spoil it, but I went into the show, thanks to TikTok, knowing the outcome. But it was just really interesting. I'm like, everybody's talking about this documentary. So I watched it, and, I tried to clear my brain, but I knew the ending. But nonetheless, you're like, what the hell?
Well, one of the things I thought, too, now, I guess because I'm old.
You are.
I have a hard time putting myself in the shoes of somebody like a teenager. And I can't imagine just not looking at the text messages. Like you don't have to look at the text messages. Like, I was like kind of like thinking that, like, why'd you take it? Oh, just ignore that.
Yeah,
and just like be done with it.
But that's the way these kids are today.
That's what gave that situation, if you will, power, was the fact that like they had to look at the like if everybody would just ignore it, delete it, block it, whatever. Also, that's another thing too. I know on my phone I can set it that if it's an unknown number, I won't get anything from it.
Oh, really?
Yeah, you can turn that.
It's like you
don't get unknown numbers. And if your phone doesn't do that, I'm sure there's a third-party app that will just like anything that comes through as an unknown number. I don't accept calls from unknown.
Exactly.
And that's that.
Yeah.
And that's the end of that. And then you're done. And I'm sure like even as parents, those are probably apps that you could put on your phone, on your kid's phone.
Right. That'll weed shit out like that.
You know what I mean? Like and this movie doesn't take place like in the 90s.
No,
it's just like what 2023 or 2022 or something like that. So it's not like smartphones have been around for a while. Like the whole thing, I kind of found it was crazy. Yeah, you know what I mean. But on the other hand, I found some of it kind of annoying because I was like,
it's so easy. Well, I would say easily, but it's way quicker than I kept thinking the same thing, and that's when I could see where you thought you were being punked because it went on for these texts went on for so long.
I mean, 20 months. They don't figure it out it's almost 2 years. Nobody thinks to call the phone company. It's like what?
I know. But yeah, if you get a chance to see it, check it out. Let us know what you thought about it. But oh my gosh, unknown number.
I know.
Woo!
All right, guys, thank you so much. We're going to get the hell out of here. We're going to come right back and play some great music for you here in a few minutes. We got a band called Tempt.
Ooh.
That we're going to jam to, and a bunch of really other cool ones. So you want to stick around if you're listening to Rock Rage Radio on Sunday morning.
Stay tuned.
Stay tuned for a minute here. We're gonna wrap things up on the podcast side of things. Go to innercircle.loulombardi.com and come hang out in our private Facebook group. Don't forget to check out rockrageradio.com and musicfrom412.com for music content 24/7. and I think it's
Gonna like it.
Yeah, they got a good stuff going on over there.
Like it.
Mr. Pittsburgh, anything that you want to add before we get out of here to go to the next?
Sure. Come visit me
The other side.
on the TikTok there. Just look up at Pittsburgh Kevin. You'll find me, all my shenanigans. I do little guitar videos and tell little stories, because I'm Irish and that. So yeah, come see me. And if you do come see me from the podcast, let me know in the comments. It's always good to talk to our fans out there. Yes.
All right, guys, thanks so much for hanging out. We're going to see everybody on the other side. And thank you for listening to the Loudini Rock and Roll Circus.
See ya!